This hit Mr. Jiang hard, as head bribe for a professorship. You really have the nerve to judge someone else's daughter? Professor Zhu scoffed. No wonder called Mum says that marrying Mr. Jiang was her biggest regret. After that remark, Mr. Jiang looked like he'd seen a ghost, and just then, Professor X's phone rang. Mr. Jiang, seething with anger, spotted a mysterious white powder pack. He tasted it out of curiosity. It wasn't sugar. It reminded him of the scent he encountered during a narcotics presentation. The next second, his eyes locked on the coffee cup, and a ridiculous idea popped into him. Mr. Jiang pondered Weisstein Jiang's confession, sensing something amiss. If Prof. Zhu took a whole pack of ice at 12:30 p.m., she couldn't have attended the afternoon mock trial. Mr. Jiang comforted himself. Maybe she drank it later. Perhaps she just forgot about that cup until the break. After some brainstorming, he realized that cup of coffee was actually one he made Professor Zhu drink. After all that investigating, he found out he was the culprit. Mr. Jiang promised to testify to clear his name, and before leaving, curiously asked if his computer really had no password set. Mr. Jiang thought for a moment and replied that he slipped some cash to a kid at the computer shop, otherwise how could he have unlocked it? Meanwhile, Cold Sister checked school surveillance and saw a mysterious man in black take his laptop, wearing a wedding ring. Was his marriage being watched? Why did Chen Kai take Cold Sister's laptop? Well, put that on hold for now. 3 days later, Professor X's case officially opened in court. After Prosecutor Lao Li's statement, he called for old Jiang's immediate arrest, claiming the defendant knew the law and could destroy evidence during the trial. For instance, the defendant's missing laptop was obviously the spokesperson for the key evidence. Old Jiang confidently stated that the laptop was found. If old Liu considered it key evidence, he was open to any means to confirm that. After listening, the judge immediately rejected Li's request, and on the other side, Old Sister was taken to the hospital for psychological counseling. Just as she approached the entrance, her phone buzzed with a message from Paula. The Weisstein Jiang was testifying. Hearing that, Cold Sister nearly lost it. If the paper scandal got exposure, she could get expelled. In a panic, she snatched her mom's car keys and dashed for court when suddenly her phone rang. On the other end was her father's voice. Weisstein Jiang was confessing in court. He admitted to lying to the police, stating that the crime scene was just as the defendant said. A bag of powdered sugar was indeed there, and guess what? In the one who owns that candy bag. The car stopped at the courthouse. Cold Sister rushed in. In court, lawyer Xiao Pio questioned Mr. Jiang about his lie. Mr. Jiang responded. Subtitles. He wished for Professor Yang Zongson to be suspected as the real murderer. Cold Sister silently thought to herself that her dad was really acting unreliably at this moment. Judge queried what was happening, while old Yang just offered an apology, claiming he accidentally dialed the wrong number. Seizing the opportunity, Xiao Pio asked Mr. Jiang if he was indeed the murderer of Professor Zhu. At that moment, Cold Sister stormed into the courtroom. Interrupting the trial, father and daughter had a tough, honest talk. Cold Sister murmured if Dad had just asked more. Did you kill her? Then things wouldn't be so complicated now. While she wished for Professor Zhu to vanish, she certainly didn't kill her. Dad doesn't need to confess to something he didn't do for her. After resuming the court, Sister Liu asked for a change of witness, claiming Mr. Jiang's actions amounted to perjury. Xiao Pio immediately objected. If Mr. Jiang's testimony was cancelled, the sugar packaging from the crime scene would not be entered into evidence, which would leave a bad impression on the jury for the defendant. Old Jiang remained relaxed, more concerned about who the real murderer was. After the first trial ended, Cold Sister expressed her gratitude to old Jiang. If it weren't for that phone call during the trial, her father could have been charged with perjury. Old Jiang switched gears to discuss the paper issue. Why did Professor Zhu repeatedly confront Cold Sister, yet she was reluctant to admit her mistakes? Cold Sister finally opened up. She felt like a nameless flower forced to morph into something that everyone liked. Flowers in nature are all unique, but they seem to cater to some twisted standards. It seems like someone created a scoring system for flowers without ever asking them if they wanted to be twisted. Every time they were in pain, those flower doctors would say, once you're in a pot, everything will be fine. But the elders told her that the flowers in pots were mostly rare breeds. Ordinary flowers could only grow by the roadside, suffering the elements. The flowers in pots weren't so lucky either. They were expected to bloom 65 times to be considered worthy. She once thought about escaping, but blooming flowers that just wanted to chill were deemed outcasts. To her, it was the high-achieving flowers who were the real outliers. Because they spent half their lives contorting themselves into something society loved, How heartbreaking. After the first trial, old Jiang returned to the law school and bumped into Mr. Jiang, who asked why he was helping. Old Jiang simply replied that his laptop had no password set. Last time he asked Mr. Jiang how he cracked the password, the first reaction from Mr. Jiang was to lie. The laptop contained only the paper investigation on Cole's sister. He saw no other motive than taking the blame for his daughter. Whether the father and daughter killed the Professor Xu remained under investigation. Paula then returned to the group, and Ajahn turned to ask her. Paula's face darkened instantly after Lyman has words, recalling his last visit about searching for his son. He even said her sister, Jiang Dan, could help, but Jiang Dan had been missing for 4 whole years, leaving Paula thoroughly puzzled. While browsing her sister's old books, she found a letter with Prof. Yang's name on the first page. Paula rushed to Yang's office with the letter, only to find old Yang was on the phone with an unknown number.